Do you want a high quality Selangor address? All you have to do is learn how to speak Malay. Why, you cannot speak Malay ah? Why, you siam? At least, according to World of Buzz. So poops, if you trusted World of Buzz, then you would think that now, if you want to buy property in Selangor, then the state government requires you to be proficient in BM. That's right, if you want to buy a house, you want to buy land, or anything out there in Selangor, by the divine edicts of the World of Buzz editors, apparently you now need to speak Malay. What if I went to an international school? What if I'm not even from here? Well, it doesn't matter. Orang Malaysia harus cakap bahasa Melayu, tak boleh cakap dengan pelat. So the conversation goes racist comment after racist comment, even as nobody realizes that actually none of this needed to happen in the first place because the headline is not true. Seriously. Just go ahead and read any other article that you can see about this and you will see that BM proficiency is necessary to buy Malay reserve land. That's right, Malay reserve land. And buying land is not the same thing as buying Malay reserve land, which is, by the way, an entirely different category, and there are a whole bunch of different requirements, including that you are actually Malay, which is the whole point of what Selangor Menteri Besar said, which for some reason I don't understand, World of Buzz just completely ignored. I mean, so yeah, why is WOP doing this? Granted, they might say, well, you didn't read the rest of the article. If you actually look inside, then you'd find out that we were talking about it correctly. But it doesn't change the fact that basically if you were to read the title, then you would end up getting gaslighted. That is an absolute fact. And come on, right? Like, I think most of us, we know that Malaysians are headline readers. Like, they're gonna go look at article titles that they see on Instagram as they kind of like swipe up and up and up, and before you know it, then they have this entirely broken picture of the world that is basically animated by all of these click farms just sending out titles one after another, and before you know it, you have a civil society and an entire country that is basically completely gaslighted.
It's true that it's not entirely WOP's fault, but
this can very easily create racial issues where there don't need to be, and at the same time, it also damages the reputation of the Selangor state government. How hard would it be to do some sort of fact-checking, figuring out whether what you're saying is actually true or not, drop a short note to the Menteri Besar's office, ask, like, is this true? Before you go out and then post some incendiary headline, one of the most irresponsible headlines that I've seen in the entirety of Malaysia in the entire past year.
oh, and probably spread to tens of thousands of people by now.
And whether it's intentional and they want to get clout or they just happen to make a mistake, right? I don't actually know. But to be fair, I'm sure that some of you are just not surprised because our World of Buzz poops don't have the best reputation. Apparently they were banned on Our Malaysia for a month because they were doing some sketchy things like posting their own articles with throwaway accounts, spamming, talking smack about other news sites, repeatedly in the process of learning, even as they were talking about their employees and how they have their best interests at heart. Sometime after, by the way, they went and posted a video that was produced by Ian Yee,
And then allegedly
scraping post after post after post and falling squarely in the questionable source category on mediabiasfactcheck.com. You can see a pattern there of people accusing them for taking content, putting it up, defending their reputation, doing it again and again and again, and it makes you start wondering whether these people are just prioritizing clicks over accuracy, which could be exactly what's going on here. But I think what's kind of obvious here is that if you were one of those people out there who relied completely on World of Buzz, there's a good chance that you're probably going to get a very distorted picture of the world, thinking to yourself that you can never buy a house because your SPM Malay is only grade C, exposing yourself to click farming day after day after day, and before you know it, black is white, white is black, and gravity pulls you up and not down. And yeah, like, we're pointing this out right here and right now in this video, but can you imagine if every single media outlet in Malaysia were to make the same mistakes?
which they might honestly, based on my chat with Zayani.
So yes, Boobs, I wouldn't recommend that you gaslight yourself. I wouldn't recommend that you rely completely on word of buzz. But at the same time, I also don't recommend that you just look at any one media source, especially in 2025, where you've got like misinformation, disinformation, biases coming out left, right, front, and center. Just like the one that we found when we were talking about how the Malaysian media hates India and loves Pakistan. At the end of the day, right, I don't think that you can trust any one source completely, and I'm saying that, by the way, even referring to me. Even the things that I say on a day-to-day basis, yes, there might be a pretty high accuracy rate, but you do have to check that stuff once in a while, just because it's a normal and natural thing that you should be doing. Every single media outlet out there is biased in some way, but what's true though is that you can check for consistency across like different outlets, go deeper into the source, and just generally, if something sounds way too off to be true,
can you imagine we drank from the toilet water?
Then you might want to go with your gut feeling and think about it from a common sense perspective, rather than just believing everything that you hear right off the bat. But I guess if you look at different sources from different perspectives, then it gets you more and more close to what's actually true out there, or at least what we can know about it through the lens of the media. For all you know, maybe there isn't an absolute truth out there. Maybe none of us are real. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whether there is truth or not, I think we can all agree that living your life just with clickbait headlines is not going to bring you any closer towards actually understanding the world. You'll probably end up having fights that you never needed to have. And if it keeps happening over and over again, then maybe that's a good sign that you shouldn't be looking at sources like that. Anyways, Poops, what do you think? Why is World of Buzz using misleading headlines? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.